Good morning. I was about to say good morning. I'm not
Good
sure.
morning. Get ready to set us back.
You ready for Tuesday?
Come on now.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm ready for Tuesday. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. We are back another Monday night and we are ready. We are excited. Our sister is back. So I'm going to get us started. As we normally get started, we're introducing ourselves and saying what we are grateful for. And so I will start. I am Theodora Carter, certified life career coach and HR consultant. And I am grateful for so many things, right? But I am truly, truly grateful because today is my aunt, my little heart, my little love, 97th birthday. I said 96, but she actually turned 97 today. And
Wow.
so I am just so grateful for her life, that she is still active. I talked to her today. She was like, yeah, I had such a good weekend. I had celebrate Saturday. So-and-so came over. Sunday, so-and-so did this. And today I went bowling because she still bowls, y'all, in the league.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And she said, and I guess I got to stop answering my phone because I'm trying to get out today to go have some fun. So that is what I'm grateful for. I am grateful for my beautiful aunt who turned 97 today, and my other aunt who actually turned 100 in November.
Oh, that's amazing.
Goodness.
Last year.
What a blessing.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I'm going to toss the mic to Netta. Welcome.
How did I know that was going to happen? Good evening to our New You Nation Network family and to my sisters. I'm glad to be back in the Zoom room. I'm sorry, in the StreamYard room with each of you. It's been a while. I am Manetta Fields, owner of Holistically Motivated LLC. I am a holistic health educator first and coach second. I am a certified strengths coach. I'm a certified essential emotions coach. Well, as you can hear, I deal with the whole person. We're not just one part being. So for us to be well in all areas of life is our goal. So thank you for having me on again tonight.
And what
Oh,
did
girl,
you
you
say
are
what you're grateful
family.
for?
I am grateful to be here. It's been months though. I was off doing some leadership programs, and so I'm grateful for the grace that my sisters extended to me to go and learn some new ways to be better supportive to each of you. So I am just grateful to be present.
Nice. We are so excited that you're back. Oh. Toss the
And
mic. Who you tossing the mic to?
I'm tossing the mic down to Sheila. She's right below me on the screen.
hey, y'all. I am Sheila Isom. I am an insurance claims professional and I am a notary, and I also sell Color Street nail polish strips. They're dry nail polish strips, easy to go on, and they last a long time. And I'm going to skip over and just say what I'm grateful for first, and then go back to what else I am. So I am grateful, I had to say, for memories. One of my cousins is posting photos of family members from years back. So, she's gone through, her mother has passed away. My mother has passed away. This is on my maternal side. And she's going through her mother's photos and she's posting them to our group, our Facebook group. And it's just bringing everything back. So memories are so precious. We tend to take things for granted, especially, what may have occurred as we were younger. But now to see them just brings so much joy to everyone. And there's a story behind so many pictures too. So
Nice.
So my big reveal, which I teased everyone about last week, is that I'm adding to my repertoire. This past week, last Friday, I actually recorded my demo to become a voice actor. Yeah.
Hey!
So that is going to be a new thing that I have under my belt. So as soon as my demo is ready, I'm going to shop around and you guys might hear me on some commercials or some audio books or some narratives, things like that. So that is my new adventure.
Oh my God.
Awesome. That's
Congratulations.
exciting.
I love it. I
All
love it.
right. I love it. I kind of had a feel. Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because it's something different, something I never thought to do. But, again, thanks to social media algorithms, I said, why not?
You're
Let's try this thing out.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Gina, last but not least, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're grateful for.
Hello, y'all. I am Regina Howard Norman. I am known by some as Chef Regina because I cook a little food. I am a licensed vendor with the Department of Education in New York City, and I provide career assistance and vision board and journaling and various type of workshops for children and parents. I focus with the youth in building up their secret sauce and really helping them lean in on what it is and how they can use that in their future. Um, I'm passionate about food. I really am, but I'm passionate about the way that we can take care of ourselves when we cook our own food. I'm really passionate about um, just the you don't have to be rich financially to be rich in your health. It's
Mm,
just the how that we do it.
that's good.
So that's one of the things that I've always been passionate about, and I thank my grandma for that. What I am
Nice.
grateful for today is my cousin, which is I call her my big sis because we grew up like sisters and brothers. She turned a year older today. So, and we're literally 18 months apart. If you saw five, it was five cousins and two siblings and then three siblings together. We looked like stair steps back in the day. So I called her this morning before I went to work and wished her a happy birthday. Her name is Paulette. And just hearing us talk, I'm thankful for the wisdom and the growth and the maturity in our conversations and the things that we shared. And just listening to her, I was like, wow, yeah, that's a different Paulette.
Mhm.
And it's really great to hear her, her thirst for living, her thirst for choosing God and trusting in Him for her life, and really just being an awesome mom and uh, amazing worker and whatnot. So I'm blessed to have her in my life and
Nice.
for to see another year. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Happy
Thank
birthday,
Happy
Paulette.
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
Man, I know she's amazing because my aunt is amazing and they share the same
Yes.
birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. Before we get into our topic, I want to recap from last week because I feel like we were talking last week about just how we have turned our passions into either entrepreneurship or into like they're not side hustles for us anymore.
Right.
And then I'm just excited because I talk a lot about intention, right? But it's just a testament to how Netta stepped away for some months to be intentional about doing some training, right? And to build up her brand, and she's about to explode, right? And Sheila
Amen.
was intentional about doing her training, and now she's a voice actress. Like, come on, guys! Like, it's just I just am so excited that we get to demonstrate for people that it is never too late
Yep.
Mm,
to follow your dreams, and you can create the life that you want
Yes.
if you are living intentionally.
There
mhm.
you
Right.
go.
And so, yeah. But tonight we're going to get into our topic. Sheila, I'm going to let you lead this one.
Okay.
Give the peoples a little background on how we got to this topic of do we idolize and glamorize and miscategorize celebrities?
Oh,
So, as I was thinking about my big reveal, right? And I said, everyone has an idea of what an actor is. It's somebody that you see on a screen or on a stage, and you think they're kind of like untouchable, and you hear more about them through either social media or news articles. And earlier today, I actually came across an article um, where Denzel Washington is currently in a play on Broadway, and it's Othello. He's in it, starring with Jake Gyllenhaal. And so the two of them were having an interview with a reporter, and the reporter said to him something along the lines of, you're a Hollywood actor. And I didn't see the interview, just reading about it. And Denzel, I don't know if he really, really took offense to it, or if his intention was to school the reporter. But, he said he doesn't consider himself a Hollywood actor because he started out doing Broadway. So Broadway is nothing new to him, regardless of the Golden Globes, the Oscars, and everything like that. He started off by saying, he said, "What's the definition of a Hollywood actor?" Myself, I'm from Mount Vernon, which is in New York, for those of you that don't know, Mount Vernon. So I'm a Mount Vernon actor. And he says, I don't know what Hollywood means. So he's saying he's grounded where he came from. He says, is it someone who's famous on film, a film actor, great success on film? And that's when he goes into saying that, he's been on Broadway, and Broadway is kind of where you get your chops, because you don't have the director saying cut. You don't have anybody splicing and editing your work, right? You get on that stage, and what it is what it is. And you have to be on point because people are watching you live.
yes.
So from there, I just thought about it, and I said, we all have our perception of actors and actresses and singers and dancers and songwriters, and of late, even social media influencers, right? So are we looking at those people and aspiring to live their kind of lives? Are we thinking that their lives are a whole lot better and more glamorous than ours? Or are we forgetting that they're actually behind the makeup, behind the scripts? Are they real people? So,
Yeah. I mean, I honestly feel like one, definitely a lot of them will tell you, most of them will tell you they're real people, right? But I think what happened is I think when we got to in COVID is where celebrities became more of a thing, because I think in COVID, so many of them started using like Instagram and Facebook and being live on social media and coming on and sharing their lives, and people started following them. And like I look at sometimes how people have like they don't even know each other, but they're having arguments about celebrities that they don't even know, right? Like
mm-hmm,
they're defending people, they're going at them, right? And I'm like, what is it? And so for me, I'm like, not only are we glamorizing them, but are we spending so much time following people that don't even know we exist, which is distracting us from living and doing the things that we need to be doing in our lives to get to that next level, right? Because I think so many people are like, oh, I don't have time to do it, but yet you're on social media all day, worried about what a celebrity is doing who doesn't even know who you are.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a classic example of that, when you talk about the fighting, there are people who have these huge fan clubs. So you've got Beyonce, who has the Beehive or Bayhive, whatever
Yeah.
that's called.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj has the Barbies. I think that's what they call. So, the minute somebody says something adverse towards those women, then it's like a whole conglomerate of people that start going in on that one person. And it could be something as simple as, oh, Beyonce had her nail polish was chipped or something. And so now it becomes, you become a target.
Yeah.
So, people taking it way, way too far. And I mean, I think there's been some stories about people who have actually gotten, death threats because
Mm,
they may have said something voicing their opinion about a certain celebrity.
Mm.
So it's just, and I think you're right. During COVID is the year that COVID is the period where a lot of influencers came about,
Yeah.
mm,
because what else did you have time to do but make videos, right? And people were looking for some entertainment because the world was so dreary at that time. So, and then you figure out, I can monetize
Mm-hmm.
this entertainment, right? So now that's what a lot of people are aspiring to do. And are they forgetting about what their real life is about? Because now
right,
they've become celebrities.
Mm.
right. So I just want to take it from a different vantage point. Going back, being that over the last couple of months we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King and we celebrated Black History Month, and we're now in Women's History Month. And so part of what I do in my day job is I'm the vocational recreational coordinator. So I plan events and activities and such. And one of the things that I began to appreciate in doing the research, especially around Dr. King and Black History Month, is the way that celebrities use their stage and their presence to
Mm.
lend to the civil rights movement. You had everyone from Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Mahalia Jackson, Jackie Robinson, James Baldwin. You had all these people in different spaces, different genres, whether they were actors and authors and singers and entertainment. They lent their credibility to support the movement that was not only beneficial to black people, but as we've seen through what's happening now with DEI because of the 1964-65 Civil Rights Act, a lot of people have benefited from that.
Mm.
So I've respected, as I was doing the research, I respected the celebrities for Nina Simone for taking their voice and
Mm.
taking their stage and using that to lend a level of consciousness to a movement that was beneficial to a lot of people. And so in doing that though, I also looked at their individual lives, right? Because if you look at the life of Nina Simone, she didn't have it easy.
Mm.
That she was a prodigy, but she went through some things, right? And
Mm.
if you look at Aretha Franklin, as talented as she was, you look at her backstory, there were things that she was challenged and dealt with
Mm.
as well. So I like what you said, Sheila. The fact that celebrities are people with stories, they have extraordinary gifts, and and I won't say they were lucky because you don't have talent out of luck. It's the intentionality, it's the practices, it's being in places where that opportunity meets that ability, and you are able to showcase what you do, and a lot of hard work, right? So there's a level of respect I have doing that research and understanding how those celebrities lent their voice and move fast forward up to now. Even when you talk about a Denzel Washington or a Samuel L. Jackson, I mean, now we used to hear him in a lot of different spaces, right? And he's
Mm.
interesting character roles he's played. But what a lot of people didn't know is how much he's contributed to so many nonprofit
Mm.
organizations and programs that uplift people. So I love what you said in regards to their people. Some people use their celebrity to live their lives, and we should never tell anyone. Like, how do you tell someone how to use their resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do
Yeah.
we decide after they've done the hard work, they done went to school and got educated in certain areas, they practiced and had to cut their teeth in different areas. How do we dare tell them how to spend their money? So one thing that's not our place, right? Because can someone go and tell you, say, Theo, I think you should use, after you get to pay your bills and stuff, I think you should use some of that extra change to do such and such. So that's not our place, right? So for the fact that you have celebrities that don't consider it robbery to do those type of things, whether we know about it or not, athletes and
Yeah.
whatnot too, it's not our business, but I respect that. But the one thing you said, Sheila, is so important, is that they are people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to admire anything, admire their grit. Admire what it
Mm,
took for them to get there, so that inspires you to have that level of grit and intentionality in whatever you're doing. But to sit there and idolize them and follow their path while you're not following your own, and looking at what you can do as an individual to lend to the fabric of our life, of our communities. Why waste your energy like that? I mean, I love entertainment, I go to the movies and stuff like that, but I realize they say cut, I realize they say action, I realize those are projects that they come together on, and then they split up and they go back to doing whatever they were doing in between acting
Mm.
or whatever celebrity they have, you
Yeah.
know? So I appreciate what they bring to the table, whether it's music, art, you know, reading, authors like Toni Morrison, and I said James Baldwin. There's so
Yeah.
many. Maya Angelou. Oh my goodness, what a multi-talented, amazing icon she was. Cicely
right.
Tyson. Don't get me
Yeah.
started. But all I'm saying is, I respect them. They
Yeah.
give me encouragement to pursue what I want. But there's also celebrities we didn't talk about. Look at the movie Hidden Figures. That's a
Yeah.
different. What about the intellectuals? What about the scientists? What about the doctors? What about the woman that helped find the cure for COVID?
Yeah.
Like, so. I think that when we get caught up in those beehives and the Barbies and all of that stuff, like, what are we doing with our time? Like,
Yeah.
like, we are so intentional about them, and I'm not saying all of us are, but some
Mm-hmm.
really take it, like, really to the heart. And I get it. There's people I admire and I highly respect. I love the way they act. I love the place they take me when I look at a role. I love a book that a certain person writes. So the genre, James Grisham, I love his books. He was a legal, writer. But I'm not walking around following them, and no,
Yeah.
because I got to live my life. Like,
Yeah. I
what?
mean, I I agree. So, Netta, what say you on this topic?
I'm thinking about how much I love to learn about the real person.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm a relationship builder. And so when people show us themselves in a role, or however they're performing, whatever the
Hmm.
case may be, I'm much less interested in that than I am the real person.
Yeah.
Mm.
I want to know their story because the story leads them to where they are.
Mm.
The foundation is what I'm interested in. What are they built on? What experiences shaped them? How did they arrive at that place? What did the path look like? That's what that's why I don't really know a lot of celebrities. I don't follow a lot of people, because what I want from this life is to learn from their lessons.
Mm.
I'm not here to duplicate or replicate anyone. I
Mm.
can't do that. That job's taken by who they are. And so in my strengths coaching brain, I'm thinking of there's no one like each of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so there's that doesn't give me cause to elevate some and diminish others
Yeah.
Right.
based on what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's
Um,
a good point.
Yes.
I like that.
so I don't necessarily see people in a, like I said, in an elevated
Yeah.
place. I want to know the real them. Because everybody has a place that needs nourishing.
Mhm.
Everybody
Yes.
has a place that they want to know that just who they are matters and it's enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Regardless as to how many zeros, are in their checks as compared to others, we're real people. All of us are. And so the celebrity piece to me doesn't come into play as much. I
Mhm.
want to see the documentary side. I want to see
Yeah.
the behind the scenes. I
Scenes.
remember a minister at church one time he was preaching a message, and he was saying that I love to see what's underneath the pages. So
Mhm.
that's what I love. I want to know who are you, and who impacted you, what encourages you, what keeps you going. And then those things, maybe I can take a bit of that and a bit of this and help me
Mhm.
move forward in the dreams, the goals, the purpose that God has placed in me. So I see celebrities in a whole different mindset. They are people like we've said multiple times,
Right.
and their role, although some people may be excited about that,
Mhm.
I don't diminish what they've done and the
Right.
roles that they carry, but I'm less interested in that than I am who they are.
And I love that. Like for those of you who are watching, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network, and we're just talking about celebrities and do we idolize them? And it's crazy because as you were talking, Gina, I was thinking, might we be celebrities?
Yeah.
Right? Because in all reality, like Netta said, right? If you really take the time to get to know like the biography or the person, right? You see for a lot of the individuals, especially like the Denzels, right? And the Jordans and other people that are glamorized, right? As those people, like Sidney Poitier and some of the other Cicely Tyson, right? They all had a story. They all had a moment where they recognized their passion, which became their purpose, which then
Mm-hmm.
they began to intentionally work at and craft and say, no matter what, I'm going to do what I need to do to develop and get to where, I want to be. And so when you look at, do we idolize, glamorize, or miscategorize them? Possibly, but is there a way for us to really glean the person, which I don't think a lot of people do because they get caught up in the social media hype, right? They don't really look at, like Netta said, where did this person come from? Because if you listen to Denzel's story, he will tell you it could have been a whole nother way. He will
Mm-hmm.
tell you about the people he grew up with who either went to jail or who are dead. And if it wasn't for his mother who put him in the Boys and Girls Club, and then other people who kept him on the straight and narrow and his faith and all of that, that he might not necessarily be Denzel, the actor from Mount Vernon,
Right.
which I think people forget that because he is in Hollywood. He came, I'm just, he was like one little border over from the Bronx, right?
That's right.
Right.
So, and so I think what Netta said is so critical to the point that I think with maturity, you begin to look at them differently,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I
So
think
Absolutely.
now,
we're celebrities.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I think we're celebrities, right?
yeah,
We all are now like moving and trying to grow in our passions and our purpose, and right, like Sheila's an actor, like voice actor, you know.
We're here to make an impact, and I think that's what it's about.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Definitely.
the big difference. That's the big difference. So, what do you think about whether or not celebrities owe anything to their fans? So, I think about the stories that you hear about certain celebrities are the most unkind or most arrogant. And then I think about some celebrities who are like, they kind of try to compartmentalize, their lives, because they are human. They've got families.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you see me in a certain place with my family, or you see me and I'm eating, don't get mad at me if I don't acknowledge you or don't give you an autograph. And then other people are this school of thought that, look, this is what you signed up for. So you are on all the time. And if it wasn't for your fans, you wouldn't be where you are. So if I interrupt you with your family, or if I interrupt you eating, you should acknowledge me. You should sign my autograph. You should shake my hand. You should take a picture with me.
I don't agree with
I don't
that. I don't agree with. I truly agree that when celebrities are out with their families and friends, like I think there's a boundary and a line, right? And I get, because some of them will try to be really, really gracious, and then people, because you know what it is, people don't know when to stop. Right? Because you will see some that will be so gracious, and then they'll be like, hey, I gotta go. And then you get that one person that's gonna get upset. So I honestly, I don't think that they owe us anything. Because honestly, yeah, fans may have been a part of getting them to where they're at, but honestly, their talent got them where they are. I mean, I remember, so my cousin is a bass guitar player, right? And so he's been on tour with some amazing artists. And I remember going to see Tina Turner, right? And having great seats because I got comp seats, right? And I remember sitting right next to Freddie Jackson, right? But for me, I was like, hello, that was it. I ain't go goo goo gaga, whatever. And honestly, he was like a little standoffish. I'm like, okay, cool. He don't want to be bothered, whatever. Now, when my cousin came out to say hello to me and he realized who I knew, now he wanted to be my friend. I was like, nah, we good, right? But in all reality, I think that celebrities, they have a right to be out and enjoying life like we are. Like, would you want someone to come up to you and you're in the middle of eating your food, people coming over asking for autographs, breathing on your food, not giving you your time? So I think people forget that they were people. They were just they're regular people, and they were people before they were these celebrities, right? And there's a time and place for that. Like, if they're just walking down the street and you want to ask them for an autograph, or you see them in the airport, but I really hate when people bother celebrities when they're sitting down with their families eating dinner. I think that's like so rude.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that's that whole time and place, and there's respect that should be given as well as received, because we know some celebrities can be extra.
Yeah.
So just decency, kindness, from one human to another. I mean, if we operate in that vein, and that's that whole do unto others.
Yeah.
There's that. If you were, like you said, if you were eating, you wouldn't want somebody spitting over your food, talking about, hey, can we take a picture? Because when people talk,
is that right?
Come on now, back up.
If I'm about to eat my fettuccine Alfredo, I don't need you over me when I'm trying to get pork in my mouth. And I've been waiting for this for 2 months to get to this.
And with their roles and the type of work that they do, how many opportunities do they get to sit with their family?
Yeah.
So there's that sacrificial piece.
Right.
Just be respectful, think it through. And the other thing is, it is not about you. When we stop thinking about ourselves first, then you have time to pause, reflect, okay, if it were me, what would I want to have happen in this situation?
Right.
And I think that's critical, because I think just in our everyday lives, we don't think about what would I want if I was in that situation, right? Just on a regular basis, dealing with normal people. Like when you call somebody customer service, right? Would you want someone yelling at you when you're trying to help them at work? And you know that it's not your fault because you're just following the guidelines and the policies of the organization that you work
Right.
for?
And I was also thinking too, if you respect their craft, right? If they an actor or a musician or a singer, what they did or what they do is what moves you. So you love it when you see them playing a role, or you love it when you read a book they've written, or you love when you hear them sing, because that takes you to a place, so that brings up
Mm-hmm.
memories and such. But when they are out in public with their family or with their friends and stuff, they're not on.
Mm-hmm.
They're being who
Right.
they want to be with their family and their loved ones. So I believe Sheila has said earlier, if they're gracious and they want to, maybe give you an autograph or take the time to say hello, like respect that, because they've already done for you what they were supposed to do, right? You can look at that movie 10 times to be moved 10 different times. They did their job.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, like, do you want to be approached on your day off?
Nope.
Right, people coming up to
Exactly.
you asking you for the same type of service that you do during your job, you're off.
And what are
Allow
you
them
doing with
that
that
time to be
autograph?
off.
Like, what are you gonna do with that autograph? Where's it gonna end up?
Well, you know
Somewhere
how
in
some
your
Right.
somewhere in your house under something that you're gonna forget you give
they put a
it.
prop frame it or whatever, but
Again, it's about the person receiving that thing to give them the opportunity to be big in someone else's
right,
eyes.
right,
I saw, see,
yeah,
it's again about, we're making it about us when
Mm-hmm.
we do these types of things. I'm more about the experience and being in the moment.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi. I mean, I've seen celebrities like, I appreciate this, that, or the other about you, should that opportunity present itself. It's not going to be when they're, in their private times with their family. If we're, walking or what, I really appreciate that you do X, Y, and Z. Compliment them and keep it moving.
and
I'll never forget, like my god sisters and I, this is years ago, we were like at Foxwood or whatever, and we went to see, because we love New Edition, so we went to see New Edition, and they were walking around, right, and we saw them, they passed, one of my god sisters was like hi and said hello, and they were talking to Bobby Brown, and they were gracious, right, and they said hello. He even got on the phone, talked to one of my nieces, right, whatever. And then they just went on, right? And we just went on. Like, we didn't follow them around and be like, oh, you have to do this. And I think also the way you approach them also will make a difference,
right,
right?
Yeah.
Because you do have to be respectful. But I want to take it to another level. And we're all believers. So for those of you who are not, don't be offended. You can take this
No
however
joke.
it is, no judgment, right? But let's think about the word idol, right? Because for us as believers, right, we're not supposed to
that's
be
right,
idolizing anybody, because the definition of an idol is, right, a person or object that is worshiped, admired, or loved. Who, what does the word say to us,
right,
right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's just another perspective on it, right? Is like, you have to really be careful also, people who you put on pedestals,
yeah,
because you
Yes.
have to remember they are human, they are flawed. We are all flawed. And that's another thing. When a celebrity does something, they are immediately canceled, they're
right,
immediately getting bashed, right? Because we forget they are human beings.
right, right,
They're going to make mistakes. That's like those of us who are believers also. We're not supposed to be idolizing pastors and
Yep.
preachers in the pulpit. They
Just
exactly,
are
gonna bring
men,
it up. Yep.
women, right? They are flawed. They also, so I think that's another thing that we need to be careful about when we are idolizing celebrities, because one minute we are rah 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 rah, and they do one little thing, and then
you
they're
throw them in the fire,
Yep. Cancel. The cancel culture.
the cancel
yeah.
Yep.
culture.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you're joining us now, we are Women to Women show on the New You Nation Network. We are excited to be here tonight. We're excited to have one of our sisters back that took a little break to do some work. And we are here just talking about celebrities and do we idolize them and glamorize them and forget that they are just like us.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah.
They might have more money, but they're just like us.
But they still got to use one
right,
foot in front of the
They
other.
still exactly. They
You
still
know.
got to pay taxes.
Right.
right. So I have a celebrity story, right? So this was when Mo Better Blues first came out or was coming out. So my girlfriends and I, we went over to New York City and we went to, I think it was the Blue Note that they were at, right? And actually it was the jazz artist Diane Reeves that was performing. But while we were there, Spike Lee was there, Denzel Washington was there. So it was a whole bunch of celebrities that had come out. So I see now, I don't have any extra pen or paper, right? I have my calendar, but I had a pen, my calendar book, right? And I walk up to Eric LaSalle. And now at that time, Eric LaSalle was one of the actors in ER. I know I'm dating myself maybe
Yes.
for
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
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 of our viewers, but that's okay. So, and you know, ER was very, very popular. So I was just, for me, it was just like, let me get autographs. Let me get autographs. So I walked up to him and I said, can I have your autograph? And he looked at me and he said, what's my name? And I couldn't think of what his name was.
Ah.
I could not think, and it just, and so I'm standing there like this big dummy, and it's clear I'm just capturing autographs where I could. And and so he said, uh-huh, I thought so. And he turned away. So I did
Mm.
not get my autograph because, and I had to look at that and it was just like, oh, you know, oh, he is snooty. What an arrogant man he is. But now I know that I totally disrespected him because if you're going to run up to somebody and ask for their autograph, at least know
No.
their name.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so it wasn't.
That's so true.
Yeah, it was like that. That's the least that you could do is know my name. So Eric LaSalle, if you're watching, I know your name.
But that's back to
the fact that, you know, celebrities are people too. So if you're going to approach somebody, at least approach them as if they are humans. You know, so it was just like he was like, you know, he was there just like I was to see a show. He wasn't there in actor mode. He wasn't there with his actor friends. He wasn't there to read a script or to get on stage. He was there to enjoy the show. And then so here I come disrespecting him, forgetting and not taking into consideration that this is a human being that's walking in here, that's doing, has the same purpose that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real story because how many people run up to celebrities that you don't know and ask for autographs,
I
right?
got a celebrity story too.
You oh my God. Don't tell me you did the same thing.
All right,
So-
all right.
It was a few years back, definitely back prior to the pandemic, and I was downtown. And you know, New York City, there's a lot. You know, we don't know there's a lot of celebrities that just walk around and just
Yep.
do their thing. So I was going down to Canal Street. So I think I'm on like the 6th train heading down, and I saw one of my favorite celebrities. She played on not Law and Order, but it was another law show, and she played one of the attorneys. And I'm just looking. I'm sitting across, and I'm looking at her, and she's like, and I said, because I respected the
Yeah,
fact that she was just coming out on a Saturday. She was enjoying the day just like I was, but she nodded to me because I acknowledged her and I respected her privacy. And as much as I wanted to say, "Hey, I really like,"
yeah,
but she smiled at me and I smiled back and we just sat on the train and rode downtown together and I was like, okay. And I was like, dang. But I was so caught up in the role she played that I forgot her name too. So if I had gone over there to ask her for an autograph, she'd have pulled Eric LaSalle on me and I'd have been like, but you play on LA Law. Do you know who you are? Right? So that that wouldn't have worked. But the fact that I understood all she wanted to do was just to
be
enjoy
normal.
enjoy her time. She was chilling, going downtown, and she was just enjoying her day like I was enjoying mine.
Yeah,
So it was like I had to respect that, and it wasn't no problem. I smiled because then for me it was I respected her,
yeah.
right? I
Mhm,
respected her
mhm.
privacy and the fact that she didn't want to draw. She wasn't trying to draw attention to
She was like,
herself.
I'm just trying to get
She
to what
just
I'm going.
chilling.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
was so nice, and that felt good. That I was able to honor that and not get all geeked out and or have an attitude about it. I was just like, all right, she okay. I respect that. But the
That's cool.
smile she gave me was like, I appreciate you honoring what I am.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
Yes.
and that made my day. The fact that I saw her, she saw me acknowledge her, but she also saw that I respected her.
Yes.
Just
yeah.
we good.
And she
You
probably
know,
really appreciated that.
yeah.
I'm
So
sure. I'm sure. I want to bring it little like closer in. We're talking, big view, broad view right now. We bring it a little closer in to some of our circles. We each have been, I'm sure, in spaces where there is someone in the room that's recognized for something they've done.
Mhm,
And let's say it's a friend of ours.
mhm.
Let's say it's a Trey moment.
Yeah,
And we're all, we're in this space and to be completely ignored as if you're invisible while this other person is there and you can even be engaging in conversation with that person. And there are people that will come up, forget that you're talking to, you don't matter, I'm trying
right,
to get to that person.
right,
And so my point of bringing that up is, again, respect.
yeah,
If you're going to engage with one of the people standing there, at least acknowledge
Acknowledge the
the other
other.
person that's standing
absolutely,
there as well.
right,
Because again, there are all these little segments
yeah.
of celebrities depending on the space we're in.
Man,
And it's just important to remember everybody has value,
yeah.
yes,
and to
Yes.
just acknowledge it, just acknowledge the other
right,
person that's
Just be
standing there.
respect, like you said. Just act like you have manners. Like I honestly will tell you, like I literally love the fact that people sometimes will ignore me because I don't want you to know that I know Trey Kearney the way I know Trey Kearney.
Right.
And I don't want you to know that I know somebody else the way I know them because then what happens is you come to me because
Yep.
you're trying to
right,
get to
To
them.
them. Yep.
right,
Right?
Yes.
right,
Right.
And so there are people that I actually know that are out there that like you said, they're in our friend circle, they've been our mentors or whatever, and I know them, but I will not let people know I know them as well as I do. Like I won't let them know that I can just text the person right now because I don't want you to know that. Because once you
right,
No.
know that, you're gonna ask me to get to them. But if you see me, like you said, with that person, don't act like I'm invisible. Just use your manners. Say hello, excuse me, and then slide in. But that does happen.
It
and and,
does.
and I just want to offer a follow up to what you just said, Netta. Here's the deal. Let's say you meet someone that you're enamored by, and they're talking to someone you have no idea who it is. You walk up to that person, or you try to get to that person and speak to them. That could be their niece, their cousin,
Mhm.
their their uncle, and you just disrespected them because you didn't even have the courtesy to say, "Hello, excuse me, but may I?" Right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
The thing that we learned when we were little, please excuse me, thank you, pardon me, sorry. Like
Mm-hmm.
those little things take you so much further. So you going up here trying to get in the celebrity face, but you disrespected who they're with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what makes you think that they want to engage you in any kind of way? Because you just disrespected their people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
what it so we need to be mindful. Like we're all saying, they're people, they have family, they have friends, they have a right to their downtime. So as much as we're enamored about who they are, what they do, also respect who they're with.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do that. If you come to
Right.
me and I'm talking to my mom, or I'm talking to my sister or one of my children, and you come trying to get in my face, and I'm like, wait, or my husband, God forbid, don't do that, and you gonna come and try to just be cut through, um, you gonna see Pookie. Like what? You gonna talk
Real
about me?
quick,
You gonna have something
right?
to talk about? Let's give us something to talk about, because now you just do it too much.
But
Okay.
I do think also, right? Like just like Netta said, just to bring it in honestly too, though, is let's think about it like this, people, right? Each and every one of those individual who is now considered a celebrity, right? Use them as motivation,
Right.
Right.
right?
Right.
Because if you really like Netta said earlier, if you really study them and learn about who they are and what their journey was, like, I always go back to the Harry Potter woman, right? Like how she got so many rejections, right? But
Mm.
she
The
didn't give up,
author.
right? She did
Yes.
not give up. And then finally somebody said yes, and then that little Harry Potter book took off,
Took off.
and movies and everything. Michael Jordan, right? Talented, right? And he was told he wouldn't be great, right? And look how he turned out. And another thing is, people also, we don't know these people.
Right.
So when we make judgments about who they
Yeah.
are and how they live and what they do, like it used to kill me because I'm a Michael Jordan fan. And let me tell you, most of my friends and people I know are not, right? And one day I was like, you know what? I don't need to defend Michael Jordan. I don't need to defend Mary J. Blige. I don't need to defend the people that
Right.
I like, right? Because in all reality, their talent and their journey speaks for themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right.
another
Yeah.
thing, people. Stop getting into arguments on social media about celebrities that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
anything, learn from them. Learn from their
Yes.
journey and how you can turn your dream into a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And see how people move off of the stage or off of the screen,
Yeah.
outside of when they're standing in front of a podium. What is it about that person that you see other than what everybody sees? What is their energy?
Yeah.
As you get to learn people more and more, you realize that there is an energy there, right?
Yeah.
That
Right.
actually tells you more about that person than you think you could ever know. So you can look at some people and you say, yeah, I'll just, yeah, I don't even know if I want to go see your movie.
Yeah.
You may be one hell of an actor or actress, but there's just something about you that's a little bit off. Meanwhile, you have that one that sat on somebody's talk show couch and you learned so much about them during that 5 to 7 minutes that you were like, wow, I am in awe of the person. Forget
Yeah.
about what their talent is. I see what they are giving back. I
Mm-hmm.
see
Mhm.
what they are doing. I see the
Yeah.
kind of person that they are. So I
Yeah.
may now go out and stream their music because there is something a little bit there that I can connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
And,
have another conversation piece here.
mm-hmm.
So there are celebrities who have huge followings, and then there are those of us who are smaller businesses. We are going to provide you with more customer service, more one on one attention, probably a higher quality option of what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So Invest in your community, invest in your smaller network,
Mm-hmm.
invest in those that may never have a stage,
Yep.
but their impact in your life is worth investing into because they
Mm-hmm.
poured into you. And so I just encourage us, look around you, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of pouring a lot of time and energy into maybe a celebrity, go thank grandma for what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Mm.
thank auntie for what she's doing. Go talk to your father who made sure you had everything so you can see this celebrity. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think it can be redirected so that those that really are connected to us and have an impact can feel some of that appreciation, and it's earned already.
Yeah.
Mm. And that's a good point because, there are so many individuals that are on platforms that are small businesses and not just us, right? Because we all have
Right.
small businesses, right? Books, authors, selling products, right? Trying to make a difference. But there are so many other people that we know also out there, right? That, we'll bypass them, but then we'll go and spend all this money. We'll spend thousands of dollars to go sit and see Beyonce in the nosebleed seats, right? So thank you for saying that, Netta, because I think that is really truly something that, people forget
Mm-hmm.
that, there are people out here that really have a passion and a purpose to try to impact someone else's life. And, we're chasing behind celebrities that not necessarily trying to do that. Because, like Sheila said, not every single one of them is a great person. There are so many that I do believe are awesome people out off of, like you said, Samuel Jackson. I think Denzel. There are so many of them that give back, and then there are so many of them that have forgotten where they come from,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so yeah, but I think for me, one of the things that came to mind, like the more we talked, was let's just think about who we're supposed to be idolizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We think about who we're supposed to be worshiping,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's just think about truly, because we're not even supposed to be idolizing or worshiping ourselves,
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think when you really think about the one that you are supposed to be idolizing and worshiping, it really will make a difference in how you live your life,
Oh, for
right?
sure. There
and
should
how
be.
and how you see some of these people that are celebrities and how you follow. Because I will honestly say, I've never been one that's really starstruck, even though everybody that knows me knows Mary J. Blige is my girl. I love her, right? Like I've been to zillions of her concerts or whatever. But the reality is, I know that Mary J. Blige is a woman just like me who has struggled just like me. And what she did was take her pain and her passion and her talent, and she turned it into something that not only gives her joy but also has helped other women, because I think her music has resonated with people, and now she's doing other stuff. But and so for me, that's how I look at it, because at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, I'm still down here trying to make my stuff happen. I'm still down here trying to live. They Mary ain't sending me no money.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
you know but I really do think, for me, it really comes down to, honestly, there's only one person, that one, I'm not gonna even say there's one in the Trinity. That's who we're supposed to be worshiping, and that's for me. Don't get offended, anybody that doesn't believe that, but for me, that is the one person, to me. And he's not an idol, but when you look at the definition, right, that is the only person that really I should be starstruck about.
Yep. And following what he teaches,
Mhm.
and we'll treat each other the way we should treat.
Each other,
Right.
yeah. But I think this was a great topic, as always, because it does make you think about, it's a reminder, of how we should be moving, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, ladies, we are at the top of the hour, so I'm going to let you guys go around and give your final thoughts, and then we could call it a wrap. This is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. If you're just tuning in, we're about to tune out, but you can catch us on the replay.
I love that. I love that. My closing remarks is just to remember that no matter what role someone has, they are an individual or human being just like we each are, and everyone deserves love, respect, and kindness. And if we can move in that manner,
Yes.
we'll all be in a better place. We'll all feel the support and encouragement that we each need, just like the people who we see on the screen. We all need that same love, kindness, and
Nice. Sheila, Gina?
So I will say, don't make assumptions about anyone, no matter what they do or who they are. Admiration is healthy
Mm,
when admiration is done for the right reason. And again, getting a little nostalgic here, thinking back to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Who are the people in your neighborhood, right?
yeah.
Those are the people who have been doing things that you may not even know about because they're
Mm,
not on the stage, right? So think about the people that are around you and what it is that they do.
mm,
And again, of course, for those that are believers, honor honor God in all
yeah.
that you do. And
Mm.
I'm actually going to go see Mary J. Blige in a couple of weeks. So I'll tell her you said hi.
Yes, tell her I'm sorry I didn't make this tour because I'm usually at every one of them. So tell her, but I had to, I had to be fiscally responsible, so I couldn't see her this time. But I done been to probably all of her concerts except for, so she'll understand. She will understand. Where
Um,
you seeing that Prudential? Where's she gonna be next?
Yeah, we're going to go see. We're going to Prudential this year. Yep.
okay. So just the other day, I called my mom because I was talking to my daughter, and it made me think about something my mom used to say, and just seeing her from a different vantage point. And I called her just to tell her that I appreciate you. If
Mm.
you have so many gifts and talents, and I just wanted to tell her thank you for that, and I acknowledge that.
Mm,
Um, so like we were talking about the celebrities and all of that, but there are people right in your own backyard that have been impactful or quietly moving, sometimes on your behalf, and you don't even realize it. So take the time to acknowledge the people close to you before we get overly enthusiastic about those outside of our immediate circle. Take time to acknowledge those in your immediate circle and show them some love, because those are the people that carry your DNA or carry your secrets or carry your friendships and carry your, so acknowledge them, because those are the ones that you have real relationship with.
mhm,
While we respect and honor what other people do that are celebrities, acknowledge those in your life that have made a real impact, and they have moved quietly on your behalf just by holding you up or holding it down and being there for you. Acknowledge them. And
mhm.
that's what I have to leave with today.
And so I'm gonna end by saying, right, one, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. This network was created by Miss Trey Kearney, and so support Miss Trey Kearney, right, as she builds this network. It is a network that has positive content. It is geared towards the Gen X, but everyone is welcome. But the main thing about this network, it was created by her because she felt there was a need for some positive content. So like, subscribe, share. Let's help Miss Trey Kearney continue to build this network, right? And it's not about idolizing, glamorizing, and miscategorizing, but she is someone that is giving back, right? She gives back every day by sharing her personal testimonies and stories of what she's been through. I will tell you, each and every one of us have gleaned some stuff for her, and probably where we're at, because she has poured into us and shared with us without even expecting anything else from us. And so I'm going to close with that. Be in your community, in your neighborhood, right? Support this network, New You Nation Network. And we're here every Monday night. This is our show, Woman to Woman Show, Monday night, 8 p.m. 4-5 women. Every now and then, some of us can make it, some of us can't, because we are intentionally living our lives, and sometimes it pulls us away to focus on other things. But you will always find at least two of us here, and we are here to share our experiences, our stories, to hopefully impact and help other women. And there are other shows on the network as well. So we will be back here Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please like, share, right? You'll get notified when we're going live. And we'll see you here next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining us. And we appreciate, you being here with us for this hour. And have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.